So one of my curiosities is what you've done with the training uh, and with the tools, the Clear Beliefs tools. Um, how have you integrated it into your work, into your world? Um, uh, One person who's done that really well is Howard Sample, who's here with us. Howard and I have known each other for about 20 years. We met in the Avatar course, and we found we had a lot in common. And Howard's been coaching people in their careers and lives for at least as long as I have. He created a program called Career Crafting, and through that, he found that a lot of people were not accountable, even to themselves. So he created a program called the Promise Game, and I've asked him to share about it because he's taken the Clear Beliefs methodology and kind of integrated it into the Promise Game. And he recently updated the whole thing using AI. So, Howard, welcome. And you didn't get to introduce yourself, so give a quick introduction and then tell us about the Promise Game.
Well, thank you, Lion. It's very exciting to me to be here. Yes, Lion and I go way, way back to the beginning. I was one of what I guess you could call the early adopters of the Clear Belief process. And then around 2011, 2014, in that time frame, when I developed the Promise Game and then we converged together. So yeah, quick introduction. I live in Northern California, just about 30 minutes from where Lion is located. My company is called Life Crafting. We've updated from Career Crafting was like about 15 years ago. So the name is Life Crafting. And the focus is predominantly guiding people through life and career transitions to a very empowered framework with many, many tools. Now, I'm a master astrologer that I've been in practice for many decades. So, of course, transformational astrology plays one very major role, but I am an innovator, and one of my passions in life is innovating. And the Promise Game is one of those major innovations that I'm super excited about. And it's gone through like amazing, stages. So I'm going to start out just with one very simple question, which is self-trust important? Is it important for us to trust ourselves? I think everybody will agree that that's about the most basic thing in life. You have to begin with self-trust. So then the question then becomes, how do we increase our level of self-trust, especially in areas where it may not be that high right now, okay? And the truth is, it's very similar to getting somebody, some other person to trust them. You want them to that you can count on them. You want to feel that you can count on them when there's a need there. And so the same is true with yourself. You need to have a track record of success. And so the question arises, what if we had an environment where we could create a series of wins and learning experiences that the net effect was that we allowed us to increase our level of self-trust? And I think everyone would agree here that that would be pretty amazing if we could have that. But now I want to share what I consider to be a global, transparent, limiting belief that relates to all of this, okay? And the limiting belief relates to promises. The belief is that when you make a promise, you only have two options. You can either keep the promise or break it. One is good and one is bad. And if you do the bad thing, then you are forever doomed, you're forever judged, you're considered to have betrayed people or yourself. And so it's not hard to imagine why so many people on planet Earth are literally terrified of making any promise to anyone, including themselves. Okay. So then this leads to the next question. Well, what's the alternative? How can we change this? How can we transform it? And so the answer is to create an environment where you can actually renegotiate a promise. So a promise doesn't have to be set in stone, that you can renegotiate the promise and still maintain your own integrity. which is as simple a concept as you can imagine, and yet on an emotional level, it's virtually non-existent. People don't process in that way. So let's take it a little further. What if we had a compassionate, non-judgmental space in which people could create a series of experiences that empower them on their path, where they either completed a promise or the promises they made, or they successfully renegotiated them, increasing their level of self-trust and confidence? And the answer is yes, it's possible and it exists. And let's take it further. What if this environment was constructed so that there were only an outcome of either winning or learning? You either win, which means you get the result you want or you wanted, or you learn something really significant. And what if all judgment was removed from the space so that our worst possible outcome of a broken promise provided a huge learning opportunity? That would be pretty cool, right? That would be amazing. And what I've discovered is that when this level of freedom and empowerment becomes possible, human beings rapidly soar and become unstoppable, and their power and creativity is tremendously unleashed. And this environment, as you might guess, is called the Promise Game. You can check out the Promise Game at promisegame.com, and you can create your own free account there and get started playing the game literally today at any time you want. The app has been in development for some time and is now in an early stage of beta. We still have a long ways to go, but we've also accomplished a great deal. I have a team in the Philippines that I work very closely with. Some of them are tech-oriented people and some have other skill sets. We'd love to have you join us and give us feedback and partner with us. Now, a couple of things to know. There are many levels to the Promise Game. You start with the basics and you work your way up progressively step by step. And there's also many use cases which you will gradually learn about. When you start, you'll be immediately greeted by our supportive educational bot called Anna, who will guide you through the basics and help you create your first promise. And we're very specific about what a promise is. So there's there's total clarity about that. My team and I are always available to you. So we believe in human plus technology, and it's not a choice, one or the other. Now, as you might have guessed, I barely scratched the surface here today because Lion is only giving me a few minutes to speak. So I want to invite all of you to an event that I'm going to be having coming up on December 19th, Friday, December 19th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's going to be a Zoom call just like this, and we're going to cover a lot more foundations about the Promise Game, the use cases, how it functions, how it works, how the learning process occurs, and you will be able to ask whatever questions you want. So there'll be lots of opportunity for Q&A. You can also contact me personally at my email, howard@lifecraftingprogram.com. I will put that in the chat, howard@lifecraftingprogram.com. Let's see. Okay, so that's in there.
And what's the sign up page for your presentation?
Yeah, I'm gonna put the Zoom link right in here now.
Great. And I can tell you from my experience with the Promise Game and all of my training that this is a huge innovation that's much needed in society. As Howard said, this idea of promises really gets people stuck. And as he said, if you're afraid of breaking promises and getting punished, which is one of the things we experienced as kids, then why the heck would I promise? And if you don't have self-trust, you can't actually move forward in life. So
let me just cover quickly what we're going to cover on the December 19th call. we're going to talk about how the game is structured, how you can play, and how you generate these learning experiences, how the game reveals limiting beliefs. So that's, of course, a big part of it. 10 powerful use cases. We're going to talk about our plans for the future and our pricing models. So you get to see the business aspect of the game and the app, and there will be ways that you can partner with us, and also how the Promise game dovetails with the other live crafting programs. Now, before I end, this is the last item in my ending. I want to answer the one question that I think everybody is thinking right now, which is, does the Promise game incorporate the clear beliefs process? And if so, how? And the answer is yes, it does, in a very specific way. And I will cover all the details about that on our December 19th call. If Lion wants to provide any time here today for any Q&A, I'd be delighted to answer, but I think he might want to go on, and that's fine with me. So we'll have plenty of time to talk further. Thanks so much.
Good. Thanks, Howard. It's promisegame.com, right?
Correct. Promisegame.com. Just click on the free start button there, and boom, you're off to the races. You're going to love Anna. She's really fantastic. And you can talk with her about pretty much anything. She's very conversant and trained in all our terms and technologies. So really cool.
A smart bot. Yeah. And I've tried it. It's great. The Promise game to me is fundamental. It's something that I learned when Howard was developing it, and I went, "Oh, this is it. This is the thing that more people need than clear beliefs, probably."
What was really cool is that I developed the Promise game sort of in parallel to Lion's Clear Beliefs, and then when we got together just after, I think it was around 2014 or so, that's when we made this major discovery that we could bring these two worlds together, and that Clear Beliefs and the Promise game were the match made in heaven.
Yeah, and the key, as Howard was saying, of it coming together is that when you don't keep a promise to someone else or to Anna in this case, then there's a process by which you find out what got in the way, and that what got in the way is often old beliefs, old wounds, childhood wounds or traumas. And so you use the clear beliefs method to find out what it was that got in the way, and then you remake or renegotiate the promise from this place of healing. So it combines the healing of the past with the promises for the future, and that's really key.
Exactly. And one last thing to whet your appetite: procrastination is a myth. It does not exist, and I can prove it. And in our December 19th call, I will demonstrate why it's just a story that people made up, and there's no such thing as procrastination.
Wow, that's a promise.
That's a bold statement.
Okay.
We actually have a video on that now. We have a whole video on it.
Excellent. Thank you, Howard. That was great.